opened up a loan company, and not a savings and loan. They would lend their own money to those who wanted to build a house. During the Great Depression, it looked like the city of Macomb would fail and go into bankruptcy. The city fathers offered the entire city of Macomb to the McCoglin brothers for a sum of $20,000. The brothers turned the offer down. Even today, once a year, 31 churches in this region receive a check from the McCoglin Trust. Little do they know that this money came in part from the world's oldest profession. McCoglin, once the Grand Queen of Macomb, is today widowed and bent. Her doors are padlocked and the windows are boarded, but there are big plans in the works for her. Hopefully she will rise again like a phoenix and be grand. Woven into the fabric of our history was a murder that came to a peaceful farm.
There was not an attorney in Pike County who could have saved George Mackey from the hangman's noose. He had committed one of the most hellish crimes ever perpetrated against the great state of Mississippi. Mrs. Will Bollian was desperate after her husband passed away. She had a small farm, and he left her with 8 children to raise. The oldest was a 14-year-old girl named Fanny. The farm was located about 4 miles north of Macomb. Early in the year, a man had heard that Miss Bollian was looking for a sharecropper. He came to her door calling. He was about 45 years old, had sandy hair, slightly bald at the forehead, blue eyes, and freckles. He wore suspenders and a brown cowboy hat with a shaved point. He had a constant smile on his face. He was a fast talker. He bragged to Ms. Bollian about what a great farmer he was, when in fact he had been a sawmill hand, a teamster, a horse trader, and a bootlegger. He had spent a lot of time in isolated logging camps. His friends would later say George Mackey was a good man, just fell into roaming. Mrs. Bollian, against the advice of her neighbors and friends, contracted with Mackey on a sharecrop basis. She brought him in to live on her farm. A young man by the name of Charles Tarver was also living on her place, and he had become a trusted helper. The first time Mackey saw Fanny, Miss Bollian's 14-year-old daughter, his lustful eyes fell upon her. And it was not long until Mrs. Bollian noticed that. She was painfully aware of his attraction to Fanny, and soon his attention to the young girl became offensive. One Saturday afternoon, Mackey had gone into the stomach and started drinking illegal liquor. When he came back, he saw Charles Tarver sitting on the front porch. He asked Tarver, "Where's Miss Bollian?" "Inside the house," he said. He walked off the porch, went to pick him some plums. Inside, Mackey asked Miss Bollian where Fanny was. Miss Bollian quickly told him it was none of his business. Mackey started a tirade of abusive threats. Miss Bollian, frightened of Mackey's manner, got her pistol to defend herself and her family. But Mackey took the pistol from her and shot her dead. Mackey then started looking for Fanny, and when he found her, he grabbed her. Tarver, having heard the commotion, ran back inside the house. He tackled Mackey, giving Fanny a chance to run and break away. Mackey shot and killed Tarver and began chasing Fanny, who had already gotten out of the house and was running toward the woods. Mackey caught her after she ran about 100 yards. She ran to a small creek. he grabbed her with his left hand and started fondling her breast. She screamed insults at him, and Mackey put the muzzle of the pistol on her chest and told her he was going to blow her heart out. Just as he pulled the trigger, Fanny struck the weapon downward, and the bullet entered her stomach. She fell to the ground and pretended to be dead. Mackey quickly fled. When Fanny was sure that Mackey was gone, she tried to get back to the house, but her strength failed her, and she only made it back to the creek. She fell almost totally submerged into the creek, and that's where Sheriff Gay found her some minutes after the shooting. Mackey managed to escape. He remained hidden for almost a year, but was finally caught and brought back to Pike County to face justice. Fanny Logan survived the gunshot wound. She was present when George Mackey was hung at the courthouse in Magnolia. She lived to be 82 years old.
The horror story that took place at Bolian Farm has been told